Hey everyone, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez, coming at you today with a Veve, OMI, GrumpyCat, Earth, I guess Earth 2 4chan update video. Guys, if you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. Love y'all. Everyone say hello to Dashi. Hello, Dashi. Commenting, liking, and subscribing is a free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon and smashing that super thanks button down below in the charts as well. And become a member. There's perks and also rayfax.eth domain name. We've got we've got a couple things to go over here. It's been a fantastic day. We'll start off with some 4chan stuff. One of the new devs had reached out and he had said, hey, we're doing hey, Randy, hope you're well. We're doing the giveaway. We'll post what to do today, if possible. And if you could, we would be able to draw on a live video that you do. Thinking then everyone come to the channel, watch to see the draw. I was like, yeah, sure. All about giveaways. Love it. This is the every X amount of $1,000 that 4chan raises in their dev wallet in order. Where'd I go? There we go. In order to go to exchanges, in order to go to and just pay for things, they do some giveaways back to the community. So let me post the link to the Twitter down below of what you have to do, and I'll find it for you. Here we go. All right, 4chan token, 24 hours. I'm going to copy this link. I'm going to go put it on the YouTube. Dr. Rips, I don't know if I can find it. And that's where you'll be able to go for the, that's where you'll be able to go for, to see what you want to do. And then you could potentially win like a couple dozens of dollars for a 4chan token. GrumpyCat will do something similar at some point. I'm not 100% sure what those giveaways will be. These giveaways are going to be on, I think, on Tuesday. Yep, giveaway. It'll be on Tuesday, and that will be at night at some point, just because I have a lot of stuff to do during the day. So it would be probably towards like 8 at night, I would say. But you know, give me a little bit to find out the exact times. GrumpyCat, they have yet to announce what tier, you know, what they've yet to announce exchanges, and they've yet to announce what utilities and what the other stuff is for. We'll get that at some point. I'm not sure when. One of the devs had said, somebody, and this is coming from like I heard from this person, that heard from this person, said that a dev said we would need like a $15 to $25 million market cap. It's like a 3 to 5x from there now. That might be for one of the exchanges that they were talking about. For GrumpyCat though, listen, I know a little bit about getting on exchanges. There are some exchanges that will waive their $20,000 or however much listing fee that they have, as long as they get, let's say, like $20,000 worth of tokens. Now, the company that I knew that was, or the exchange that I knew that was saying, oh yeah, just give us $20,000 worth of tokens for liquidity. They weren't, when we had this conversation, we weren't talking about GrumpyCat. We were talking about something else. But that's all it takes, is just somebody giving them 10 ETH worth of tokens, worth of GrumpyCat tokens. And again, it doesn't have to be GrumpyCat. It could be X amount of things. But I'm just saying is if you hear somebody saying, oh, we're not going to get on exchanges until a $15 to $25 million market cap, that is false. Maybe you're not able to get on certain exchanges without that. You can definitely get on other exchanges before that. Anyway, moving on to some other news we have here. Let's go. God, what did I do yesterday? Or what did I not go over yesterday? I was going to make a video today, but then I was like, can't do it. I had too much stuff to do. So David announced in the live stream yesterday that he had done on the German YouTube channel, not Veve's, just a German one, saying there will be a new gold and silver Veve logo. That there's going to be a gold and silver new Veve logo, not the one that we have now, which will either be airdropped or crafted or linked to an event. He said he doesn't know exactly what they will do, but gold and silver Veve logo holders will get one of the new logo. I'd imagine it would be like, hey, it's incentive to come to an event. But then, of course, you have some people that, got it for free, got it, whatever, and maybe they can't go to every event, and that might be hard for them. Maybe they fell in hard times. So it's possible that they don't. I'd like to see them do it for the event. But again, I know that not everyone can make it to those, especially if you're in another part of the world where it would cost you thousands of dollars to go, and the airfare for that is like, I don't know, if I was in Australia, and let's say they're not going to come to Australia for like another year or so, I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna take that, $3,000 to $5,000 that it would take to go to the U.S., take to, get a hotel, whatever, and I would just buy OMI. That's what I would do. Not financial advice. And so I understand them not doing that. Something crafted, okay. I think that would cause a little bit of FUD if you just said like, oh, hey, this crafting event is just for the gold and silver Veve logo holders. Why does this hat seem like it's that better? Okay. So I think you cause a lot of FUD. People are like, oh, they get special treatment. Okay, fair. I think a good amount of people that have the logo might deserve special treatment. I'm not saying that I'm one of them. I'm just saying that some of the other people that do other stuff for the community, for Dan and David, maybe they might deserve it. But I understand why they would not want to do that. So that leaves the airdrop. Okay, I mean when you airdrop people, I know the Yucky Charmers, right? Like the gold and silver Yucky Charmer or the gold and silver Trickster for Kids Fat Rabbit. When you airdrop those were because, well, they completed a set. Okay, well, if you're going to airdrop this, it's for people that completed the set. It's for people that got the gold and silver Veve logo. I think airdrop would probably be their best bet. Is that 100% what they're going to do? I have no idea. But again, in my opinion, it's just going to be the airdrop would be easiest and would not step on as many toes. There was a buddy of mine that had messaged saying, oh, hey, guess what? I have 7. You can't see that. Saying that they have 7 Gwen Spidey secret rares, Edge of the Spider-Verse 2, and 35 common. So that is quite a lot. People are going pretty hard on that one. I went over the Donnie yesterday that somebody bought. I went over this yesterday, but I have to go over it again because it needs to be done. Florash Design over on Twitter says, in the next 30 years, it's very possible that Miles Morales can be the more commonly known Spider-Man than Peter Parker to the younger generation. The cultural impact he's having as a legacy character is unlike any other to exist before him. 6.5 million impressions on that. And that was yesterday. That was before the movie numbers came in. Movie numbers came in. Across the Spider-Verse has $120.5 million opening weekend. That is the 3rd highest grossing Spider-Man opening weekend ever. Which did like 4x more than the first one. Into the Spider-Verse was like 35 million, but the only ones that it did not beat was Spider-Man No Way Home, which obviously when you have Tobey Maguire, when you have Andrew Garfield in there, that was a $260 million opening weekend. Nobody is beating that. And then you have Spider-Man 3, which had a $150 million weekend. And nowadays, nobody even likes Spider-Man 3. It's just, I mean, I'll still watch it. It's just, but yeah, $120 million post-Rona opening weekend, the 3rd best in the Spider-Man franchise, I think is really, really powerful. And if you go and you take a look at opening weekends for animated things, or I'm sorry, opening weekends for this year, it had the 2nd highest. The only one that beat it out was Super Mario Brothers. Super Mario Bros. Had a $146 million opening weekend, and then came Across the Spider-Verse. But Across the Spider-Verse beat out Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and that's a major Marvel motion picture. That's the end of the sequel, the end of the run. It outbeat Quantumania. It outbeat The Little Mermaid, which only made 95 million opening weekend, and I think Little Mermaid had like a 4-day weekend too. It beat out John Wick 4, Fast X, Creed 3, Scream 6. Again, the only other movie to beat it for an opening weekend this year was Super Mario Brothers, and that's I'd be getting the Super Mario Brothers on my arm. And the biggest animated opening weekends ever, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This came in 6th place. The biggest, and again, it didn't lose to just like random places. Incredibles 2, $186 million opening weekend. Super Mario Bros. 146. Finding Dory 135. Frozen 2 130. And Toy Story 4 just squeaked it out by literally $400,000 at 120.9. So it's basically tied with Toy Story 4. All of these are actually sequels, with the exception of Super Mario Bros. So that sequel is going to be bananas. But yeah, Miles Morales is making absolute. I really should take my. I have a Spidey 2099 for sale. I really should take that off. I really want to. I want to go to my listings. Yeah, I have it listed for it's a sub 100 for 777. I just took it off. I'm not selling that. Not anytime soon. Uh, but again, I just want to go and let people know that we have that comic coming out, I think tomorrow. 10,000 comics. So that'll sell out instantly, pretty much. Let me see if it. Yeah, so it's not Miles Morales, but it's Spidey 2099. Obviously, for the opening weekend, he's in the movie. Yeah, 10,000 editions, $7 per one. No utility for this at all, which I wouldn't expect any. I just want to go over that real quick. Outside of that, we have a couple of other things. We have a lot to go over before I get to other peeps. All right, the top 500 Veve holders. This is going to be fun. Okay, so in the top 500, we're going to go over the negative stuff first, for the amount sold. We have Chains, who is number 426 in the rankings, sold 54 NFTs, which is selling a decent amount. You're actively selling. It's not just, oh, I had these up for sale and some listed. No, 54, you're choosing to go and sell a lot. We had Clever Jerk. He's number 33. He's wallet number 33. He had sold 94 NFTs this past week. Now, if it was anybody else, I'd be like, what are they up to? Like, are they, but I know Clever Jerk is not out of the project at all. Clever Jerk is still the number 33. He's doing some big moves. And he wants to fund those big moves without having to put any more money in, and I get that same. And then you have Crazy Legs, who's number 195 top wallets, and he sold 261. Now that is a decent amount. That is nothing to sneer at, but it pales in comparison to the top three buyers. Actually, the third most buyer, Thantos, he bought more than the top three sellers sold combined, with 866, and he's number three. So he came in third, and he's the number 5 wallet, and he bought 866 NFTs on Veve this week, which is bananas. And if you think that was bananas, we have somebody that bought in the 4 figures worth, and I don't just mean like $1,000, bought 1,001 NFTs on Veve. So minimum, that's a couple $1,000, but that's quite a lot. And he's wallet number 61. He moved up 75 spots, going up 1,000, which is pretty dope. Me, I bought a couple things. Most of it was the Guardians of the Galaxy stuff last week, but that was it. Or no, I'm sorry, it was the Happy Tree Friends stuff. That was the Guardians of the Galaxy was the week before. We get those Guardians of the Galaxy airdrops next week in a couple days, so I'm really excited for that rocket. But anyway, number 1 was 8C48, ranked number 16. He moved up 162 places to get to number 16. Guess how many NFTs that he bought? 4,104. My man at least spent 5 figures, at least $10,000 on Veve NFTs this week. Absolute mad lad. Gotta salute him for that. That's insane. Like, he spent more money on NFTs this week than I spent on all of my Luke Skywalkers. All my Luke Skywalkers, I think I spent like 8K on. He spent that on just random NFTs this week. Absolute mad lad. He gets the Mad Lad Banana Award of the week. And I don't know. You take a look in the top 10. Yeah, everyone in the top 10 had bought. Nobody had sold anything. Everyone in the top 32 had bought. So Clever Jerk is the only one that happened to go and sell some. Oh no, I'm sorry. We have Vint P and only Banks that had sold 4 and 2. The rest of them had bought, which is bananas. So you have to really take a look back and do some hunting for some people who wanted to sell. On top of that, I lost another auction not because I don't have the funds, but because I will message Mitch every goddamn week until we get a notification bell. This is making me lose my mind, because and especially when it's for charity. NFT Lanthropy goes and they do charity stuff every week. Hey, we're selling this, and the proceeds will go to charity. And it doesn't reach a high enough thing. It would reach so much higher if we were to have these notifications that we get sent to us, ping us 5 minutes before the auction ends. Oh, cool. Let me wind down what I'm doing here and let me go to this. You would get much high. One, they get higher fees, so they get more money that way. But it's also for charity, and not even just ones for charity, just all these all over the place. And this wasn't even a huge thing. It was like $23. The floor is like 42. So if people knew about this, it would at least go for the 42. But then you think, oh, it's on charity, it would go higher than that. If people just knew about it, if you had that ping, for small stuff like this, they'd make pennies. But on bigger things, you would make you could make hundreds of dollars, like every single auction on that. So yeah, the wait list they had tweeted about. There were so I'll get into that. There were a couple of things that had gone not so well. I'm gonna take a drink here real quick. And a couple of things that have gone not so well is that you have some people, I think, including Brock Blockchain, I think Dr. Stuff. So there's a couple notable people in there that didn't go well for, where they're on the wait list, they do everything right, and then the wait list says, "Hey, you got an NFT. Click buy now." They click buy now, fail to purchase. Ooh, honestly, that hurts more than that would hurt more as opposed to me just not getting one because I didn't get one. I'd spend on the secondary. I didn't think these would do this well, so I put in a couple $100 last night, and I was just on the app, just window surfing, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get another Cosmo. So I got another Cosmo. I think it was a sub 100. I think for like 125 or whatever. And then and so I didn't have a ton of gems this morning, and then these do so much better than I thought they would. I was like, oh wow. So when Paul Barron's wrong, he's really, really wrong. Like, this company's not just not dead. It's not just surviving. This is obviously thriving like nobody's heckin' business. And I think part of the reason why it does well is because every single one of my whales that I know had spent money on this today, and not just like, oh yeah, I got the set. Most of them got the sub 100 sets, or like Sanjay, like got a matching set, like freaking mad lad, freaking savage. Oh my god, Sanjay had to have. I don't even want to hypothesize how much he's probably put into this app by now. Probably in like that 7-figure mark. He's got a lot of stuff. He's really, really high end. And so he has the lowest matching set. They're all number 120s. Buddy of mine has, I think, 107. He's got 3 of the 4 107s. But every single one of my whales, oh, hey, got the sub 100 set. Hey, got the set all sub 100. Hey, I got these that aren't sub 100, but they're pretty freaking close. And a couple of them are sub 100. And I was like, oh my God. So it is clear to me now, if it wasn't already, and I've hypothesized about this for quite a while, saying that, hey, Veve's already worth at least $2 billion, but probably more. A drop like this, you don't just buy a drop like this and invest thousands of dollars into it when it was $8 on retail, unless you think that Veve is destined to be worth hundreds of billions of dollars. And I think that Veve's on the recipe. I think they're on the traction, in the trajectory that I think they should go, to be a $1 trillion company at some point. Is it going to happen in 2025? No. Will it happen by 2030? Very possibly. Yes. I could see that happening. I could see them being worth tens of billions of dollars in 2025. And I do think they can reach that, hundreds of billions as the years go on, and then trillion eventually. This is just the beginning, guys. And again, the Veve app is just going to be, like at the end of the ride, you go to Disney, Hershey Park, Donny Park, whatever. This is just going to be their gift shop. The plans for the Veveverse are going to be so insane. Again, that's a multi-trillion-dollar opportunity just for the rest of the world, and Veve will get a good part of that. Yeah, these are fairly rare, all of them. And not only are they fairly rare, but they are, in my opinion, they will be scarce at some point too. You have all of the Veve gold and silver logos holders wanting to go and match up their mints. So you see that little bit of a premium for the top 500 mints, because that's where they are. And this is a good problem to have. This problem where things are out of reach and are too expensive, they're only going to get worse, because as some people that are selling for whatever they're selling for now, They're selling for now, maybe because they need the gems, maybe because they need, whatever. Maybe they're just doing it to flip. They don't really care about the IP. They just want to make some money. Cool. Eventually, that will go from flippers' hands into hodlers' hands. And eventually those hodlers, if they're a hodler right now, when OMI's at 0006, 62, what do you think they're going to be when OMI's 10x that? And just 10x that, we're going to get that by next year. We get a penny by next year. What do you think they do when it's 100x from here? You think they're letting this go? Even if they do, it's not going to be at the prices that I bought for today. And I know I see this coming because the same thing happened in Pokemon. Yo, the rich people, this is not fair. They come in and buy everything. This card was worth $2,000 now. It was worth 600, a couple months ago. I was like, okay, well, emotionally, it can't buy you points just because you remember what it was 6 months ago. The same exact thing is going to happen to all of these NFTs, the main ones. I think Cryptkins are pretty safe. I think Cryptkins are always going to be available. I have that whole set talking down on my investment. I just happen to think that they're, they have their niche. Some people have them, but I feel like those are always going to be fairly affordable. I feel like some of these mighty Eternals are probably always going to be available, just because there's a lot of them, and the movie was, but yeah, now do I think that they're going to be $3 and $4 forever? No, they'll probably go up to $10 or $20, but you could save your lunch money for a couple weeks, and you could afford $20. These things right now, I think the green logo worth like $70. That's going to be worth a lot more a year from now, like a lot more. Anyway, we're going to move on. I've talked enough about that. Atomic Crypto Wallet had said like $18 million of their. I didn't know anyone had anything on Atomic Hub, but they do. Apparently, $18 million worth of stuff got hacked. So if you have Atomic stuff, get it off. I really don't know anyone that has any meaningful money on there. I think maybe I have like $50 on there. I maybe have. I have my first NFTs were Earth 2 NFTs, and they weren't like, oh, buy these from Earth 2. No, they were of me. They bear the official Earth 2 logo. I hope they don't get those, but it's Wax and Atomic Hub. They kind of not doing so hot. Some Doge partnered with Infibit, saying they are creating a decentralized voting platform for projects like Ben, PsyOp, and GrumpyCat to use. Huzzah! The Collectible Guru said the most expensive LeBron James card of all time, $5.2 million. The most expensive Pikachu card of all time, $5.275. Which one would you pick? LeBron is one of the GOATs. Him, Jordan, Kobe, they're all up there together, sharing that stage. You cannot deny how great a player he is. Now, that being said, there are this particular card, the most expensive LeBron of all time. There's always going to be a LeBron card. This particular one happens to be super, super rare and insane, but there's always going to be, those types of cards in lower grades. However, in the Pokemon Illustrator, what was it, like 10? Like there's so, and again, basketball's been around for a long time. A lot of people that are into basketball cards, are in their 40s and above. I mean, you have some younger people in there as well, but there's a lot of people that are into basketball cards that are in their 40s and above when people go and they start making the most amount of money that they've ever made. Most fans of Pokemon are in their 30s and below. You have the occasional people that are, in their 40s, 50s above that really like it. But most people that like Pokemon in their 30s and below, they have not hit that peak spending yet. They have not hit that peak income. But they will. I think you have much more growth for that Pikachu Illustrator. You have much more growth for that hobby in general. That's only 26 years old. So again, I'm just throwing my 2 cents out for that. Moving on, we've got the hodlers. Some Doge had reported, all right, GrumpyCat update, tier 1 law firm letter coming soon. CEX listings, plural, coming soon. Feeling extra grumpish. Can't wait for that. Timestamp. Yep. Okay. Mothman believes in you. Matchmaking, gem transaction. So shout out to Abdulila Jafar, who had purchased 240 stamps yesterday. He said he had very, very bad luck, but he purchased 240, like on the drop. Like it wasn't even like in the secondary. He purchased that on the drop. Now, I purchased a lot of stamps as well. I'll show you guys how many. It wasn't on the drop, though, and I'll let you know why I did it. Okay, so if you see here on my profile, I lost my master ranking. It says diamond now. That pisses me the heck off. So I decided to go and buy a couple of more stamps. Did I complete the set? No, but I bought 19 Benjamin Franklin stamps. I had bought. I didn't buy any of the George Washington. Those are like $2.50. Those are a lot. I bought 14 John Adams stamps, and I bought 7 Martha Washington stamps. I did this. I now have over 900 collectibles. Huzzah. In total, I have 1339. I'll get more as time goes on. But again, I really do want to go. I do want to go and get more, more higher end stuff. I mean, I have my Lukes, which are great. I'm actually trying to sell 2 of my Lukes. So I have the number 43s, which actually, speaking of number 43, the number 43 Lukes to match the number 43 hat, I thought is really dope. So I have that, which is great. And then I also have the number 47 and 48 rare Luke on top of 43. So I have 3 of the 9 sub 50s. I think is really great. But I also have number 92 and 94. I don't necessarily need those. I do want to fund some other purchases. So I actually have Luke at, what do I have him at? I got him at, I have him at the cheapest Luke. The cheapest sub 100 Luke I have at 547. The next cheapest is, I think, over 700. So you're getting like $150 hair discount. And I'll probably sell the other one fairly cheap as well. But I do have some money coming in next week, so I might not have to go and do anything crazy. I might just sell the one. Looking like oh, I don't have the. All right, hold on. Oh, so David, you had retweeted Foster Hilt's tweet yesterday, and I want to go and show you guys what that was. It was just Foster Hilt responding to the silliness that Paul Barron had posted about him. Foster goes and says, "The irony of making an accusations of slander when presented with facts while simultaneously attempting to defend your defamatory comments that led to this interaction is not lost on me. There was never an issue with your opinion as whether it was right or wrong. Everyone is entitled to one. When you presented an opinion as fact, however, the accuracy of the opinion does matter. For instance, your claim that my thread is inaccurate is your opinion, where it is, in fact, written defamation is libel and spoken defamation is slander. Knowing the difference between an opinion and fact is important, especially in the journalistic endeavor you have undertaken. Throughout my thread, I noted several instances in which you made direct oral or written assertions which were either misleading or wholly inaccurate, and which directly disparaged Veve, including instances in which you, 1, took statements out of context and made by third parties and presented them as if they were directed at Veve, yet Sue, May 9th, 2023, saying we disagree, isn't just about making it easier. They don't know what they're doing. Number 2, released a video asserting that Veve had become anti-Web3, Paul Barron Network on April 13th, 2023. This guy has receipts. Says, we're diving into what went wrong and how to steer Veve back to Web3 values that propelled it to new heights. And number 3, made a direct statement that Veve is dead on the Paul Barron Network, May 31st, 2023. Within the same thread, I presented evidence or facts of several key performance metrics that support the position that Veve is not dying. Again, opinion. Veve has sold 8.4 million digital collectibles to over 650,000 wallets. You can look that up on a Mutascan. Veve had over 1 million in gem purchases over the preceding 7 days from that date from the date of the post, noted by Danny the Bull. Veve indirectly received over 700 likes and 19,000 views, representing the most liked tweet ever written by the author. When respondents were asked, if you're reading this and are still a part of the Veve and OMI community, give this tweet some love. And that was Foster Hill on May 30th. Said, you are welcome to respond and clarify any inaccuracies that you believe exist within my thread, and I would be happy to correct the record, should it be required. Until that time, I would recommend that you consider how you want this to play out, because as someone on the internet once told me, when you make false accusations based on no proof is another situation altogether. And Paul Barron has yet to comment on that. So, I got people messaging me. Give me a second on that. You have other people asking Paul Barron clarifying questions, asking if he was ever compensated in any way, shape, or form by Animoca, its subsidiaries, employees, etc. No response. He did respond to someone on the same thread, so he definitely saw that post but did not answer. Pretty sus, in my opinion. We have Veve Time 17 saying, I'm open to offers for this bad boy. It's a Luke Secret Rare number 41. Do I want him? Yes. Do I, am I going to get, is that going to be one of my big purchases? I don't know. I will make a couple of big purchases over the next couple of months. That might be one if I can haggle him down a little bit. But I've already spent a lot on Lukes. So I'm actually trying to sell a couple of these Lukes, like I said before, to get that. Veve, I'd made 26,000 on the drop today. So they were able to go and test out a new feature, which did have some bugs, but they want to do that with their own IP. They made it $8, which they did not have to do. They could have easily made this 20. They could have made it 30, but they made it 8 because they like to be nice to us. 26,000 on the drops, which all sold out in 1 second. And then you had the secondary, which went absolutely wild. They probably made more on the secondary than they did on the drops. Fantastic day for Veve. Snipe of the day. We got Sunday Bucket saying the best snipe he's taken in a long while. He has the Ben Franklin 1776. Well, I don't know why my phone decides to try to be bright sometimes, but the Ben Franklin 1776, absolutely bananas. Obviously, the answer to 1984 is 1776. Yeah, these are all my purchases for those stamps. $2, $2, $2, $1.89, $2. Yeah, so that was a good night yesterday. Can't show that. All right, so Star Wars Culture had tweeted, what's your favorite trooper? Is it the Shadow Trooper, the Shock Trooper, the Snow Trooper? It goes on and on and on. David Yu had retweets. Heart, all of them. So I think David is teasing that we're going to have Stormtroopers coming. If we were not, yeah, Stormtroopers would be really dope. I cannot wait. Yeah, we'll get. I'm confident we'll get Stormtroopers, and that's another thing I'm going to spend oodles of cash on. Yeah, I didn't think these Veve logos would do that well, but I was wrong. And again, I have one whale that got 3 sub 100 green and white ones. So I got a green and white one because I had to match them because I'm again slave. And then there's another whale that had 3 of everything. It's like, oh my god, these people are going insane. I got number 92. Got that for 125. Pretty proud of that purchase. Wraithax, the man, the myth, the legend, had gone on and said, hey guys, I got the whole set. Wraithax is never wrong on any investment he's ever done, whether it's been ETH domain names, buying land in Axie Infinity, buying land in Earth 2, buying OMI, buying the Veve gold and silver logo, buying these logos. He is never wrong at anything. Investment wise, I don't know about real life, but investment wise, never wrong in anything. So yeah, we have a really good time. Good time coming. Rock with Blockchain had said, I'm sitting out after grabbing a green off the secondary and hoping it results in just a few more having them, as in he wants other people to get them. I hope it results in more people having them that want them than if I had stacked or grabbed the set. CryptoKagi says, yeah, I won't be closing this set unless the red drops to $175. Rock with Blockchain had said, I'm purposely not closing this one just as it's so limited and it's a Veve thing. No hate to anyone that does, trying to share, but he's just trying to share the history of Round. I think it's very big of Rock with Blockchain. I think, the morals of saying, hey, I have the money to go pretty much get whatever I want, but I don't want to because I want other people to go and get this at the cheap price that it is now. I think is extraordinarily big of him. It shows the morals and values that he has. I do not have such morals and values. I'm going to get as many of them as I freaking can. So shout out to Broccoli Blockchain for doing what I cannot do. And then we have Jeremy Padower saying, buying more high-grade vintage Japanese cards, Tops on Meiji, Cardass, Sealed Ass, Tommy Scratch, TCG, and Trainer Deck A and B PSA 10. He's looking for a Trainer Deck A Raticate, $10,000, and a Trainer Deck A Ratatat, $5,000. These are PSA 10, by the way. It's not just random cards. If you have one, it's probably not that. But yeah, PSA 10. That's what he wants. Doing a deal. Look at this photo from last year. It was 1 year ago today. I feel like I look so much better in this photo than I do right now. But yeah, that's can't wait to see my bays again. Hopefully soon. We're a bunch of us trying to go to. They have not officially confirmed New York or San Diego Comic-Con yet. I'm pretty sure they're going to be there, but they have not confirmed it yet. Moment of silence is brought to you by hydration. No, that's not the actual name of the drink. This was water. Sanjay is already booking places and booking parties. There's already people buying plane tickets for New York Comic-Con. Somebody had messaged me the other day saying, hey, I'm not sure if I'm going to go to San Diego Comic-Con, but I might go out for the parties. I was like, yeah, that's fine. Parties are really great there. Somebody asked me, hey, that have never been to any of these cons, like what can you expect? I was like, okay, well, what con do you want to go to? And they're like, New York. And I was like, okay, well, New York, that's the one I know the best. I've only been to San Diego 3 times? 2 times? 2 or 3 times. And I said, okay, well, for New York, because I know that one the best, Thursday is kind of chill. You know, if you've never been there, it's a good day to get to know all of where everything is. It's a good day to know where things are, because again, it is 2 levels, not including like the artist alley and the panels, and just the area as well, because sometimes you want to get out of the crowd. Sometimes you want to get out of the convention center. You want to go down to Rocky's Pub and have a beer, where I like to go a lot. And it, you know, everyone around the area is all in cosplay. The cops love it. Like I have a buddy of mine that purposely asked to work for Comic-Con every year. Like, as a cop, he's right there, and he just loves looking at people, and not like in a creepy way. I mean, there's a lot of hot girls there, but I mean just as the, like, to appreciate like the art that is cosplay. It's just really cool. So the Thursday is very chill. Friday gets a little packed, and some people even leave a little bit early on Friday because they want to go back to their hotel. They want to take a shower. They want to take a nap, and then the real Comic-Con starts. And there's events on Thursday as well. You know, you have some parties. You have the Sexy Nerds party. You have the I mean, I can't even count. You will not be able to go to every single party. You'll probably be able to go to a quarter of the parties if you spend like an hour here, an hour there, etc. But you know, they can start on Thursday. Most people just kind of go out with their friends on Thursday. They don't do anything crazy. Friday's when it starts. There's a cruise on Friday. And that's not like a Veve thing. That's the Comic-Con thing. Although I would expect Veve people to take that over at some point. Last year I was really bogged down. Like I had a bunch of different dinners. There was a whale dinner. I had another like it was a lot. I was like, oh, this is never again. But yeah, Friday's that start of the parties. And if you are in a certain cosplay and somebody else is in a certain cosplay, the whole community's like, okay, all right. So let's say if you are, if you're a certain cosplay and somebody else a certain cosplay, the community will be like, all right, now kiss, and wild stuff's happening. This is not meant for minors. This might not even be meant for young adults. This is meant for adults. And then on Saturday, people do what they need to do. They show up to the con late on Saturday because it is more crowded because now everyone has off work and, you know, do whatever. So they show up late, maybe a little hungover. They have a hangover beer, you know, in the con. They start day drinking. They leave the con at some point. They'll go home. They will do the same thing: shower, nap, get some greasy food in them, and then the last night, same thing: party. It'll go until the wee hours of the AM. Some people watch the sun come up, some people don't. Typically, I like to skip Sundays because people bring their kids on Sunday, and it's like you're just trying to like get through the day. You're just trying to like not die, and there's kids everywhere. It's like, so that's that, and that's the Comic-Con experience. Obviously with Veve, you have some extra parties. You have some, yeah, it's a wild thing though, and I can't heckin' wait. 44 minutes. Any news from? He has not yet. Hold on 1 second. Not yet. I'll ping him again after this though. Okay. And then we have always here streaming. I'm always here streaming. Okay. And I've been talking for 40 minutes. Okay, I'm so sorry. All right, we'll get to the rest of the news tomorrow. Wes saying my body is ready. Yo, what up, Wes? How's it going? I was saying made a quick $100 today. Flipping that logo. Probably should have waited, but you can't guess every time. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you took a profit. Is all that matters. All that matters. I'm proud of you for making that flip, making that money, getting that bread. Even if like like you had said, the flip would have been better if you hodled. But again, can't call the top right consistently all the time. Uncle Brett, so set alarm 2:45 a.m. I vaguely recall turning it off. Woke magically for the second drop and didn't get it. Those drops were 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. New Zealand. Ooh. Dan OT says fourth like didn't get nothing. Fourth like what? I'm confused. Smarty Pants saying might not be able to catch the beginning of the stream, but we'll rewatch later. Let's go. Completed the logo set now. My man. Get that, Brett. Okay, says hello there. General Darth Chaos. How's it going? Joy Evan says, what's up, Randy? Do you think these Veve logos could be like bat cows at utility? Also, I got a secret rare logo and a blue and white one. Good. I mean, the gold and silver logo already has a bunch of utility, and more is going to be added. There's a decent amount of these. I don't think they want to give utility to thousands of people. I think they would just do it. If they're going to do any utility, it would probably just be for the gold and silver logo. But I don't know. I'm not. They could do whatever they want. We'll see. Black Magic hit an ultra rare number 89 Veve logo. You heckin' mad lad. I am so freaking jealous. All right, sorry. Okay, I got this. Whoa, Slumdoge Millionaire sold his Mong at the top. The BitLore guy is spiraling out of control. Ripping Mong. Dolores Movies says, what are your price predictions for all the logos? And do you think utilities will be added? You can do whatever they want. And I think, all right, well, so let's play that out. Let's say if they do, what would be the reasons for them to do so? Okay, well, you do have a couple of people that do whine and complain a lot, saying, oh, you're only giving utility to the gold and silver Veve logos. That's, none of us really had a chance to get them. Not everyone could make it to the, to the events. And, some of us live in this part of the world. It's not fair. Like, all right, so part of me wants to say, like, I get it. You could actually be one of the biggest fans of Veve and maybe not have a ton of money. You could be somewhere where you maybe only make $500 a month, and I know in New York and in the US, that seems like, well, they're never going to be able to afford anything. And okay, well, not every part of the world is first world, some are second and third world. And you're going to really, like, I was born in Peru. It's not a really good starting point. But you can, so I understand that you could really love Veve and you're not in there. You're not able to get it. So I understand how that's not fair. That being said, going a little bit more, dropping the EQ a little bit. Okay, there's plenty of other ways to make money on Veve that has nothing to do with the logo. You could have gotten this drop for 8 gems and sold for 100, sold for whatever. Like there's other ways to make money, not just in life, but just on this app in general. And then of course in life as well. Dropping my EQ super low all right, you know what? Sucks to suck. Like, I was talking about this with Tammy yesterday, saying like, okay, I understand wanting to go and have utility things that you have. That's great. Um, but I feel like a lot of these people, not everyone, but a lot of these people are. If you go to some of their Twitters, it's like, what are their tweets? Not a lot of it is original thoughts. It's the retweets of people saying, "Hey, like and retweet this for a free, whatever," and like that's their whole Twitter. And it's like, okay, I get that. Free stuff is cool. I love free stuff. Um, so that being said, all of that, having that out there now, I think it's possible that Veve could go and they could have an answer to all that. They're saying, okay, maybe you guys are right. Maybe it's not fair that we only give utility to these 500 logo holders because there's only like 300 something actual holders. The rest are just unredeemed. There's not a lot of them, and some people own multiple. So yes, I could see something like that happening. And then they say we can now give utility to you guys, and they could try different types of utility. They could go to these licensors and say, hey, the big utility that you want was going to be for a super small amount of people. That's what we're showing you with the gold and silver logo. The other logos are going to be, if you want to give small types of utility, or like how like shows used to be, hey, a new episode every day, the episodes aren't really connected. And then TV started getting good and it started being this long form of writing. Like talk show hosts, let's say like Rosie O'Donnell, the Rosie O'Donnell show. You had a couple of interesting people on, they do like an activity, and then they talk for like 10 minutes. But what's super popular now? Podcasting. You see people, you get to know people and you get to like, oh, okay, here's their thoughts on X, Y, and Z. And you don't just get to see them for 10 minutes. That could be rehearsed. You could fake something for 10 minutes. It's very hard to go and do like a show every day all the time and have um and fake that. So here's what they could do, and they say, okay, here's for your long form utility, and it could be for a lot of different people. Let's say you hold it for a year, prove that you're a true collector, and then they could airdrop you something. So I think maybe this could be Veve's answer to that they could add utility for this as a response to a lot of the people that are upset that only the gold and silver logo holders get one, or it could be the opposite of that, and Veve saying, "Hey, now other people can have logos if they want." Um, and this could be over to the licensor saying, "You don't have to give everything utility. You have some utility and some that are very similar that don't have utility." Um, so yeah, the short answer, I don't know. Sean Guy was saying that's another issue I have. I cannot make it to any of these events as well. Yeah, it sucks. Eventually, these events will be all over the world. Eventually, there will be Veve events that don't have any of the Veve team there. It'll just be people in the bull market. Sanjay be like, you know what? Everyone come to Texas. It'll be like Bam Bam and Rudy and Tina be like, everyone come to Arizona. It'll be me and Doctor Strange and other people be like, all right, come to New York. Um, it'll be a lot of ways just throwing parties everywhere. So obviously you want to go to the actual Veve stuff, but there will be other events to go to that may not have anything to do with Veve. It's just gonna be a Veve fan. Jeremy Housen says, woke up for both drops in New Zealand at 3, 4 a.m. The Brett said, unfortunately didn't get either. I feel you, man. Same. Crazy Dan 420 says, waitlist went super smooth and I got skunked on both drops. No. So took 5 green and 1 orange logos off the market to hodl. You mad lad. Dude, get that bread. You picked up 5. Dude, the green one, people are getting, the green one is the one I like the least, and that's the one I got the sub 100 of. Um, okay, let's see what we got here. The green one's the most common, right? What does it have? It's at $75. It's at $999, which means 909 of them. What's the cheapest sub? You get number 57 for 180. Oh, you get number 80 for 155. 91 for 140. 96 for 139.99. Yeah, some of the green ones are still very affordable. Glizzy says, lol. Okay, says, wow, over 4,000. Wait, 4,000 what? Oh yeah, the collectibles. Yeah. Yeah, 4,000 purchases in 1 week is insane. It says, is it a better investment to buy Veve NFTs versus OMI? Is that why whales are doing it? So outside of my new whale, which only has 11 million OMI, every single other whale that I've talked to that's not public, but is, you know, that I know personally, they have all over 100 million OMI. And because they already have their position. Now, I will tell you, 2 out of 4 of these whales, or let's say out of the 3 whales that have over 100 million OMI, 2 of them do have GrumpyCat as well. And as GrumpyCat goes up, they're going to dollar cost average out, and they're going to go into Veve. They'll go into other stuff too. I'm trying to get some of them to go into 4chan token as they do that. But they will go, they'll get more Veve NFTs, just and more OMI. Now, the reason why they're going so hard on this because they already have their position. Out of those 3 whales, only one of them has less OMI than I do, but they all have over 100 million OMI, and they are what do you call it? They're doing this because they like it, because yes, they believe as much as I do. One of them even more than I do, that Veve will be worth tens of billions of dollars, and eventually worth hundreds of billions, and I think eventually worth $1 trillion company. That word has been thrown around a couple of times this past week, and this is in a bear market, but that's when these whales are buying. Like I literally have had a whale like yesterday text me, buy when blood's in the streets. That's what I'm doing right now. I was like, well, the bottom might have been like a month ago, but yeah, I understand what you're saying. And as GrumpyCat goes up, yeah, I'll get more OMI and Veve as well, and put more into 4chan. I know. But yeah, that's why whales are doing it. But to answer your question though, I do think Veve NFTs do go up first. I think you'll have the Spider-Mans, the partners, some Batmans that'll go up. OMI will stay right here. NFTs will go up. And what do you do at that point? Sell the NFTs, buy some OMI, wait for that to go up, and you have that arbitrage option. I cannot wait for that. It's gonna be great. Crazy Dan says, I'm alive and kicking. Paul Bear is that? Oh, that's amazing. Wally D says, picked up blue and white for 100 gems. It's flying. Damn, good for you, mate. Says, I got it just so my penthouse in the Veve is going to have a Veve logo on it. Dude, I am so happy for you. Congrats. Oh my God. Whale just texted me. What, 6 million more the last 2 weeks. Plan to buy at least 50 million more by the end of the year to get to 300 billion. You're my goddamn hero. You're my goddamn hero. Oh, I'm going to salute that man. I think he's listening now. I think that's why he's going on. That is, I did not mean for that to happen. I did not mean to slam that. It fell. I don't know how it fell. Wow, dude's love him. And I'm alive and kicking. So is Veve. Actually thrive. Oh yeah, I just read that. Bill Gardner says, at least I pick up more Spider-Gwen comics with the profits. Yes, gotta love Spider-Gwen. I love her so much. Great. Eddie says, I wouldn't touch those logos in the aftermarket. Why? This is terrible RR right now, paying a bot 10x. I mean, not all of them are bots. I think a good amount of them are actually humans. This RR, I don't know what that means. But my whales that are getting sub 100s of these, they're not purchasing them to flip. It is for the long term. And the sub 100, like, let's go to random one. I'll get like whatever one I see on the Veve app. What's the first one that I see here? I go to the market. All right, we'll try the uncommon logo. 340 floor. Out of the 340 that's on the floor. Oh, nope. I accidentally clicked to the auction. Cheapest sub 100. Oh, you can get one for 620. That's not bad. I guarantee you at some point those are all over $1,000. Same thing with the ultra. Same thing with the rare Luke. Why I'm selling my rare Luke now is because one of my rare Lukes. I have some things to purchase over the next month. Eddie Almeida says, oh, I just read that. Lizzie, where'd it go? Oh my God, where did it go? Glizzy says, you guys think that these logos will have utility or used as currency, very liquid? I wouldn't say it'd be used as currency, but it's possible they have utility. And it's possible that they get utility that Veve doesn't give them. I think that is possible if you go to, if you like wind the clocks forward a year, if Veve hasn't given these logos utility, I guarantee you some users will. They'll give it some form of utility because the community is great like that. So use currency. They have a coin already. That as a fair point, they do have a coin already, which you will be able to buy NFTs with the coin in Q4. They might roll it out in Q3, but I'll say Q4. Does you write about the coin? Doesn't do anything. Fair point. So why with the logo? Pretty smart, friends. Take gems off fools, or you will be holding piles of poo for longer than you can afford. Yeah, when I say like whales, I mean like people that, let's say are liquid for 6 figures, minimum. A couple whales that are liquid for a lot more than that. But I'd say to be considered a whale if you're liquid for 6 figures, and put that towards whatever you want. Yeah, they don't. What happens in a recession? Okay, well, whales. You don't just become poor. Rich stay rich. The poor stay poor. That doesn't really affect them. It's just the middle class is kind of affected. So yeah, people that could afford to do stuff like that, they're not going to be holding poo, and there's a lot more whales coming in. It is not just the whales are here now. It's all the whales that they're ever going to be. A lot more coming in. Crazy Dan 420 says, I got the green logos for around $60, and 3 is only 999 editions. In the future, I'm sure this will work out just fine because I'm not present. Fair point. Your greens at list price in a couple months. In a couple months, OMI will probably be up, so you probably won't feel it as much of a purchase. But actually, Eddie, I'm gonna go and take a picture of this because there is no way that these green logos are the same price in 2 to 3 months. We're gonna have big floating party boat soon. 100%. 100%. Great Dan 420 says, good luck with that. Yeah. What's the real amount of editions, given nobody over 15 years old cares about color? I care about color. I'm 32. River Blue is out twice now, just backwards. What? There's been no other, there's been no other logos, right? Like the gold and silver logo is blue, like the color is literally in the name. There's no other logos that are like this. Just throwing that out there. Zero Alpha is buying ultra rares under list, not paying for bots 8x or something. I mean, you can't get anything under retail. Retail is $8. Something maybe can drop every year in different colors. I mean, they could do that, but again, it's different. Like, okay, so why would people buy a Naboo cruiser that's all silver when they had previously bought Naboo cruisers from like the movies that are yellow? Why would they go and they buy one, that's silver? Or why would they go and buy the cruisers to begin with and they could just drop them in different colors? Because it's different. Because they're completely different. Maybe you just don't have the mind of a collector. But I'll say it again after the fact. Okay, Naboo cruisers in yellow, cool, buy it. Naboo cruisers in silver, you take the yellow away and it's all silver. Why did people still buy it? It's the same thing as Naboo cruisers, just in a different color. Because it's completely different. It's different. Like I don't know how else I could explain that to you. It looks different. It's different. It might be a different color, and that's the only thing that's different about it. But it's still different. Like I feel like that shouldn't be that hard to understand, or maybe I'm explaining it wrong. Comment down below if I do not have the gift of explanation. But we've seen this before. Like, all right, why buy a dark Charizard when I could just buy, a base set Charizard, as the first one? Well, it's not the first one. And that's the other thing. Why buy a first edition Charizard when that's like the 4th Charizard? You had the Cardass Charizard. So you had the Mezzy Charizard. You had the blue and the black back Top Sun Charizard. And then you have the first edition. And so, okay, well, why would I buy a first edition when I could get, a shadowless for a tenth of the price? It's the same artwork. It just doesn't have that first edition stamp because it's different. Okay, well, why would I do that? And I could just get the unlimited, just has darker borders. It's the same exact thing as the shadowless, just darker borders because it's different. Okay, well, there's so many Charizards. They just devalue those Charizards over time. They release the Dark Charizard. They release the Blaine's Charizard. They release the Shining Charizard because they're all freaking different. Sorry, just gonna take that out real quick. 100 green logos on the market. Nuke under list in a few days. Yeah, they're not going to exactly nuke under list when you have. What are they right now? Let's try. Let's find these guys. There's actually 195 of them, and they're 74.99. So let's say $75 now. I guarantee you these do not go. Like, what do you think nuke is? Like, you think they're going to be cut in half? No, they will not. Are they going to drop by 10%? I'd say that's possible. I wouldn't consider dropping 10%, nuking them, but comment down below. I'm really curious to see what you mean by nuke, and I'll bet you $10,000 that you're wrong because me and my friends alone will keep that price up. Tammy Hannah says, ready for New York Comic Con. Me too. Me too. The green logos just tank or jump in a month. Well, again, when I say, could it go down by even 20%? Going from $75 to $61? Yes, I think that's possible. I think it is very possible for something to go from 75 gems to 61 gems. But it depends how you define tank. If you're talking about a stock market, yeah, 20%, it's a lot. But if you're talking about Veve NFTs, that is, I don't think 20% is a tank. Or even if it is, if you're going from 1,000 to 8, even I don't know, even like the bigger numbers, not much. I mean, when I say like tank or nuke, I would expect like a 50% haircut. But that's what I'm talking about when I'm thinking tank, because we've seen a lot of these things do like 85 to 90%, even 95% haircuts. So when I go and I take a look at when somebody says tank or nuke, I just don't think that 20% cuts it. I would say 50% or more. So by all means, if people think that these are going to be listed for $37.50, you're wrong. I'm telling you, you're wrong. Skinny Pete says, hello, Randy Dash fan. Why, hello, Skinny Pete. It says, that won't happen because I'll buy all the Veve logos that get anywhere close to retail. Yeah, same. Yo, what up, Wheels? What up, Wheels? What up, buddy? How you doing, fam? Where am I? Says, yes, come to Texas. Yeah, Texas is great. I love Texas. Texas is, hold on one second. I got another. Got the members of my nation. Oh. Clever Jerk posts on the Veve app saying how it feels when they don't call your winning number playing bingo. Dude, he is so clever with that red skull. Oh my god, that's ripping bingo. Nice. Get those gems. Okay, moving on. He says, you said you can't wait to see your bays again. Sus, they're my bays. David and Dad are totally my bays. Are you jealous because they ain't your bays? I mean, yeah, fair point. I'd be jealous too. Eddie says, maybe I'm salty. Or Eddie says, at Crazy Dan, maybe I'm salty. I didn't get selected in the wait list. I did not either. Says, but I only wanted it to flip it also. Says, I hope you will. I've been stacking any art under list with low listings available. Easy pumps. That's fair. There's no motion. Give me them gems. I respect that. That's cool. Jonathan Fisher says, no, the bottom will be in October. I don't know about that. I mean, you've had a bunch of people go out and say, oh, yes, I totally believe in a 000 for OMI. The invisible lines that I have driven, that I've drawn on the chart tell me so. And I even predict 00035. Yes, that is my prediction. And it's like, okay, we can't do TA on something that has, what does it have today? $620,000 in volume. Let's see. Let's take a look at this OMI. And we have very early. Rent. Oh my god, I can't do that on Saturday. Oh, we actually have $741,000 in volume on OMI, which I is better than the 600,000 we normally have. But that being said, for the third day in a row, we were outperformed in volume by GrumpyCat. So yeah, let's say that TA is fairly useless on anything with that little volume. Wally D says, haha, nice pants. How'd you, oh, when I went to go to check the window, right? The window? And you saw the pants? Saw the booty? Got the, oh, my hip. Okay. They're fire pants. Risk reward. Preach, preach. Chavez says, I couldn't have bought 150 million OMI, but chose to keep my portfolio balanced. Mm-hmm. Yeah, oh yeah, and that's the safer thing to do. The safer thing is to go and say, hey, if I'm going to put money into crypto, I'll only put 25 or even 33% of my money into crypto. And when you do that, you really want to go, to be safe, you want to go heavy in Bitcoin and ETH, and maybe out of the 33% of the money that you put into crypto, maybe you put like 10% of that into alts and you spread it out. That's the safer thing to do. But that being said, I guarantee you my portfolio outperforms everyone else that does that. Why? Because OMI is stupid undervalued, and I have most of my stuff in OMI. Eddie Almeida says, wondering how the Treasury refills after flooding the market with T-bills soon. Probably bad for the market. I mean, you had T-bills that were like 5%. Yeah, but again, when they reach that agreement and say, okay, Federal Reserve, go burr, and Federal Reserve goes burr, and suddenly that printing press is just, I mean, it's probably, long-term very bad for the market. You kick the can down the road, you raise the debt ceiling, and I mean, like what? Like $1 trillion a year goes just to pay the interest on those debts. I think it's even more than that. That's lunacy. But in the short term, printers go burr. So, which I think is pretty good for the economy short term. Yo, NFT Me News got that Veve logo. Get that bread. HunterVampire.com says, nah, I feel sorry for people who have been holding poo. Why? What's wrong with poo? What did poo do? What did poo? I don't want to do that. All right, let's see what the poo has been doing. POOH. Pass it on. I actually saw Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey yesterday, 2 days ago. Winnie the Pooh is at $43. Damn, what was his his list price was 60. Might not be a bad idea to pick something up. Just because, yeah, not a bad idea. I think Pooh is great for the long term. But yeah, I mean, if you bought him at a couple thousand, which I think he was at some point, yeah, it feels kind of bad. Bad hair clothes. Let's get this bread. Love this game. He says, yes, screenshotted. Love the show, Randy. Cheers, mate. Doug goes, hey, what's up, Randy? Did you learn anything today? Yes. I learned that water is my best friend. And then I learned that, or maybe not. Yeah, I learned that it is a higher probability than I thought that Veve will be $1 trillion company in the future. Definitely 100 billion plus. Definitely in the. Okay, so a million is 9 figures, a billion is 10, 10 billion is 11. So definitely in the 12 figures, Veve will be, which would be in the hundreds of billions. Veve says, disagree with the colors, says you can read about the colors of the new Veve corporate identity colors, and every color is highlighted Veve color, so they are all not different variants of the logo. That's a good point. You definitely have those. So agreed with Felipe B on that one. Who says, do you think the blue logo will pump and become an important piece with perhaps future advantages? Well, that one was released before the others, and that one is its own set. So yes, it could. Now, that being said, it had pumped to like, what, 325? I think it had actually pumped to like over $400 at one point. So it's down to 334 now. Will it always be this price? No, it could go down further, but I also think it could go up further. The floor has already been over 400 at one point. But oh my God. So one of my whale friends just messaged me, and he had just said, "Hey, I just bought 10 more green Veve logos." Hold on one second. Let me make this a little. Just bought 10 more green Veve logos, bringing it up to 14. And then it says, more green, getting these long term for 75. People will be shocked where these go in a few years. Man, and I only have one. Now, one of mine is sub 100. I think 4 of his are sub 100, which is nuts. But yeah, we gotta. I gotta stop bringing these up. I'm trying to make some purchases here. I want to go. I don't even have the blue and white one yet. I will. I will at some point. Uh, what was I here? Yeah. So the blue one was the first one. So you can make the argument, and this will be argued very well. You can't dispute this, that it was the first one that was available to the public. The gold and silver logos were not available. Were not fairly available to everyone in the world. Those were only available to people that went to events, which I think is what makes it special. Them handing it out for free. I've gone through that a million times. But when you take a look at the first one that was ever dropped, not only just dropped in a drop, but a historic drop, the first ever waitlist drop. Yeah, I think that the $325 it is right now could probably go up in the future, because there are less than 1,000 of them. I think there's 1,111, but there were less than 1,000. They didn't just hold back 90 for these. They held back like over 100. They held back like 120 of those, 122, I think. I'm not sure why, but they did. And yeah, it's the first one of that. Like, you know, any drop, any IP drop worth its salt that has 1,000 mints is probably going to be a decent amount. And if we have, guys, Veve's only worth a couple $1 billion right now. What happens when it's worth even $10 billion or $20 billion? I'm not even talking about 7 years in the future. I'm talking about in 2 years. What happens at that point? Okay, well, at that point, when Disney turns its marketing on, when every one of these guys turns its marketing on, and Veve's a household name, yeah, this will be worth a lot. Again, could I be wrong? Sure. Could Apple in a couple of years say, hey, Veve, we're going to give you, let's say in 2 years, Veve's only worth, let's say, like 5 billion, and Apple says, yeah, we're going to buy you for 10 billion. And then at that point, maybe that wouldn't happen in 2 years. I think David and Dan will hold for a lot longer. But at some point, maybe they do a rebrand. Maybe Veve is bought by Apple, or bought by Tesla, or bought by any company that's a multi-trillion-dollar company, and that something like that could work. And with that, you would maybe leave David on as CEO, or they could groom someone else. Like, anything can happen. So maybe I'm wrong, and maybe Veve logos are not worth a ton in the future. Maybe they keep reprinting them, remaking them every single year. And I mean, I don't know. Like, are you really going to get tired of new forms of that? I mean, there's new Mickey stuff all the time. And I'm not even talking about NFTs, although, we could use that as well. Does any of the new Mickeys take away value from the partner statue? I don't think so. That's historic. Does any one Mickey take away any value from another? No, maybe on a specific drop. Like if you have the Mickey from Sorcerer's Apprentice, okay, you have 3 different poses of them. Maybe if they only had 2, then those 2 would be higher. Yeah, sure, that makes sense. But I don't think the Sorcerer's Apprentice Mickey takes away anything from the Traveler Mickey. And I don't think the signature Mickey, the Mickey Mouse signature, I don't think that takes away from the lenticular card, because the lenticular card has the Mickey signature on the back. This is just my opinion. It says scored green logo 420. Oh my God! But mistaken for 120 and sold for 160. Oh, you had a meme. You had a meme. I'm so. Hold on one second. I can love you. But it's fine. We all do that sometimes. We all accidentally do stuff that we might not. Can ask. That seems like a lot of money. That's half the price or more for the. Oh, that seems like a month. Oh, okay. That's half the price or more for the entire promo deck. He says yes. PSA 10. All right. Well, anyway. John Giles says, I didn't hit the drop today, but I bought 2 blue and white logos under 200 gems each. I have to message Jeremy Patter real quick because, all right, hold on one second. Because he is looking for something, and I think he's about to overpay, and I don't want him to overpay because he's a good dude. Friend of mine that is just as knowledgeable in Pokemon. I misspelled Pokemon as I am, says that you probably don't have to spend that much money for the Rattata and Raticate. Okay, we're gonna save Jeremy Paddler some money. I didn't hit the drop, but I bought 2. Oh, you bought 2. Oh, you bought them for such good prices. I'm so jelly. I remember it says I was making a pun about holding poo earlier. Oh, okay, all right. I see what you're saying now. I thought you meant the actual Pooh Bear. That was my fault. Good movie though. Yeah, man. Anybody says, nah, I mean, how is the Treasury going to fill its account? They're out of money and they are going to flood $1 trillion of T-bills to be sold. Money needs to come out of the markets or bank accounts to buy them. Well, I mean, they could just have the Fed just print more, which I think is what they're doing. So that makes sense. Every Veve logo in this drop has one of the original new brand highlight color of the new corporate identity. So for me, it is wrong to say that the blue is the original and the others are different. Oh, that's a good point. So I think we can agree. I think we can both be right on this. I think that you're right. They are all different ones. The reason why I said the blue was different, one, because it's its own set, and 2, it was dropped before the other ones. So that's why I said they are a little different. But you're right. They are the highlight colors of the new corporate identity. But again, I just mean that the blue and white one I think is a little more special just because it is its own set and it was dropped before the others. But that I think that's the extent of my reasoning for that. So it'll get bought before that. Wait, what'll get bought before that? What were we talking about, fam? I don't know what I was talking about 9 minutes ago. Bill Gardner says, I learned not to sell a Veve logo as soon as I get it. Missed out on 250. Yes. I'm gonna hodl. Planet Vampire says that Sean Grasmick. I just noticed your Buckethead avatar. Love that dude so much. Once I heard Somewhere Over the Slaughterhouse, I was hooked. Well, I have to go and listen to Somewhere Over the Slaughterhouse. I'm gonna take a picture of that. And I'm gonna there we go. I've been really getting into Turn Soonest to the Sea. They have or Protest the Hero, I think the name of the song. Hold on one second. Let me go to the Google. Protest the Hero. Yeah, all right. So the song is by Protest the Hero. It's called Turn Soonest to the Sea. It's like a 6-minute song. It's very metal. But speaking of metal, I found this account on TikTok before. I forget what it's called, but just type in Disney metal. The first thing that came up was Hercules, you know, the animated one, and he's like jumping in, I think, to save Meg, and it's just, I don't know what music was in the original movie, but in the video of like every single time that Disney does something really cool where metal music would fit, they put it in and it goes and I was like, oh, this would make Disney movies so much better in my opinion. I got off a little bit track. The 4chan news was that they are doing a giveaway on Tuesday. That I'll be doing that giveaway. I think it's just like $40 worth of 4chan tokens. But they had raised, I think, $2,000 to their community wallet. That community wallet will go towards funding exchanges, maybe advertising, paying influencers. I'm not paid by either 4chan or GrumpyCat. I'm not paid by Veve or OMI either. Those are just projects I really like. I like that the contracts are announced, same as GrumpyCat. I like that it's community driven, same as GrumpyCat. I really, really like both of them. I do think GrumpyCat will go up a little bit first just because it has a little bit more backing and is a little bit more ahead in the timeline. But you know, as that does go up, I will plan to sell to more Veve and OMI and to buy some more 4chan. President 420 says, Smart Whale, he's very intelligent, yes. Because I think blue logo is historic, as first waitlist is a single set, and is the logo Veve most commonly uses. They do. I think blue could be 500 tomorrow. Say 5 is Luke Pump. Don't tell me that. I gotta try to lock something down. I gotta try to lock something down. And grade the 3 in there. All the cards in the deck are worth more than one PSA 10. I'm not sure. I haven't taken a look at those cards ever, to be honest. He also is too busy to do his own grading. Do we know what the last sales of those were? Question mark. Okay. Yeah, I gotta. Oof. All right. So he said he's. I have a guy that said he's gonna get back to me about something real quick. Appreciate. Thank you. Cool beans. 24 hours. Will close. Okay. Copy. Yes. Hey, Dorks, tell me the fortune. I'm sorry. Yeah, so I said it before, but what's up, Dork? NFT me news is yes, it will. I'm going to agree with you and say yeah. I don't know what I was talking about 10 minutes ago though. Beg to differ. Historic to who, and who is the marginal buyer for 8 gem drop? Says buying a set of logos and putting away for young children with $650 in OMI to get to $1 million will set a child's future for about $1,500. Will outperform anything else. I gotta go and take a photo of that. I'm a good man. There we go. Take a picture of that. It's gonna be the title of one of my next videos. So let me read that again for the people in the back, the people that are not watching me, that can't read it, that are just listening on a drive on their way home, driving across country. Saying buying a set of logos and putting away for young children with $650 in OMI to get to $1 million will set a child's future for about $1,500. It will outperform anything else. I am inclined to agree with you because I think the OMI should outperform anything. You know, I can never have enough OMI. But yeah, I need more. I need more. As GrumpyCat goes up, I'll get more. As I continue to work more, I'll get more. I'll keep y'all posted. Start to Veve as their first waitlist drop. Yes, agreed. Oh, Jesus. he went hard. Just like Todd Historic as the first Batman, it's actually not one of the most expensive or sought after Batmans in real life. Yeah, I mean, you know, comment down below if you knew the difference between Todd, Riso, or Cloonan Batman. Like, I don't think 98% of people on this app knew the difference between a Todd Batman, a Riso Batman, or a Becky Cloonan Batman before Veve. I think most people learned about that after. Like, how many people knew that there was like a dog pool or a lady Deadpool? Like, I had someone when She-Hulk came out and like, oh, everything's got to be politically correct. There's got to be a girl version. I was like, you know, that's a real character, right? It's the first character to ever break the fourth wall. And this is why I love buying these things right now. When Luke Skywalker came out, and I had so many people messaging me like, hey, why does Luke have a green lightsaber? You know, he's got the Skywalker lightsaber in our set is blue. So obviously they didn't see Return of the Jedi. Like, obviously they didn't see that movie where after, you know, gets his hand chopped off, he comes back, he crafts his lightsaber off screen, and Jedi powers are masterful at this point. And he rescues Han, he, you know, defeats Boba, and he goes in and he just wrecks people with the green lightsaber, signifying that he's a master now. Blues tend to be used for Padawans or Jedi Knights. Greens are solely done for masters. So yeah, that's the fact that this is still such a young hobby, and a lot of people in here don't know everything yet about some of these characters, is why I'm really, really bullish on a lot of the purchases that I make. So I was the first NFT on Veve, so perhaps actual historic value. Yes, a ton of historic value. The first Batman on the blockchain in general. And then, yeah, also for Veve. Big A says, I got really, really lucky and landed both, still holding my blue. Sold my orange for $195 right after drop. So just sharing my opinion on what blue logo can do. Financially, I'll be okay either way. Yes, you will, Big A. I think I re-messaged you on Twitter. I have to recheck. But yeah, we could be part of the whale group. Tomato says, and the flood of Batmans afterward helped the price of Todd, correct? No. I mean, I would say that would that might be the only thing that could have, maybe not the Todd, maybe that would have negatively affected the price of the Clunan or the, no, I think the Riso is really the cap on that. The reason why I think the Clunan or the, I forget the other Batman, had dropped so much as it did. I mean, everything dropped in the bear market. So it's really hard to say, was it because of all the other Batman that we have, or is it because of the bear market in general? I think it was probably the bear market in general. But I think you're really capped on 1750. That's the amount of Risos that there are. Now, obviously, there's much less than that. I would say maybe 1,300 of those are in wallets that are still active. I know with the Todd, I think 1,900 of those Todds out of the 7,500 that are there are in wallets that are not active. They're in wallets that are inactive and haven't been active for over a year. But with the Risos, again, like you don't need 3,000 Becky Clunans. Why? Because there's only 1,750, or let's say 1,300 Risos. So you need one Todd for the Riso, you need a Becky Clunan, and then you need the other Todd. I forget the other Batman's name for that. After that, it's like kind of just extra. You know, like I don't think Becky Clunan's Batman is anyone's favorite. Oh, maybe it might be. It's probably one of them. You know, some people might like the artist or the artwork. But yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. Jonathan says, Randy, every 7 years in the financial markets, there is a Shemitah. All markets tend to go down in the fall. During this period, every 7 years, I expect a major dive, then I'll buy more OMI and ride up. You realize that in the fall, at that point, we're going to have OMI utility, right? Like, even if it's not October, probably November. Winter technically isn't until December 31st. I mean, there's just no liquidity down. Like, there's nobody that's selling down there, and if they are, the people that need to sell their OMI at 0006 or 0055, the amount of liquidity that they bring to the table is like that much. The amount of people that need to, it's just not a lot. And again, when you have people that I told not to do this, but there's one whale that I know that already has more OMI than I do. I think he has 300,000 or 400,000 in dry powder on the side, ready to buy more. He is somebody that I don't think anyone knows in the community. He is fairly famous, but he has not made himself known to the community yet. But he's in here. Him and two other people that I know. If it goes down below 0005, they're scooping everything up. But again, their liquidity alone will be more than enough to scoop up all the people that are trying. Because again, all the people that are going to try to sell at those levels, most likely the amount of OMI they have is this much. When I was buying OMI from people from their Veve apps, no one had more than 4 million OMI. Everyone had like 1 million OMI, 800,000 OMI. Nobody had more than 4 million. So, and you know, I'm just like a small fry. When you have other people that I know that have hundreds of thousands on the side waiting for it to go down, and I don't think it's going down there. If it does, it goes down there for 1 second, and it's off to the races. But again, could I be wrong? Sure, despite having empirical evidence that there's like $1 million on the side of dry powder just for, just from 3 people, not including, the whale just texted me. John Gazza says, it's much harder to get a shiny Shadow Charizard. Yeah, the Shining Charizard from the Neo Destiny set, there's like 200 first edition PSA 10s. Now there's a lot in PSA 9, there's a lot in the unlimited version, but in the first edition PSA 10, there's not a ton. In general, there's not a ton. Yeah. Big A, wish I had the logo flip today. Well done. Says, yeah, that Schmitta is a thing for sure. Mm-hmm. Big A says, thanks, Eddie. Just dumb luck. Oh, I feel you. I feel you on the dumb luck. I have dumb luck all the time. Anyway, why would the Fed start printing when they're still doing QT? That wouldn't help inflation, bud. Okay. The Biden administration, I have to be careful what I say about this. The Biden administration will not let the country go full-blown crazy recession If they do, they know there is no chance of Biden getting reelected. And if you take a look at the polls on who's winning in the Republican Party, Donald Trump is going to be the Republican nominee. No, and if there's anyone that Dems hate most of all, it's Trump. So yeah, they're not gonna do that. They're not gonna let this go crazy hyperinflation. I mean, I know we've already had a decent amount of that. And like a pound of turkey is like $15, dozen eggs like $8. Yeah, like yeah, we've already had a decent amount, but they will make it get better. And I'm not saying this because I think Biden's like the best person ever. Do I think he's the worst president ever? No. But could he do a better job? I definitely think so. I mean, granted, the hardest job in the world. So we could probably say that about anyone. But yeah, they're going to do everything in their power to make sure that the economy has a nice little bump before the next election, saying, "Oh, look what we did! Look what we." Anyway, NFT News saying, "I'll just finish the presidential stamp collection. We go into the White House. The airdrop. Yeah, let's. I think it'd be fun to go to the White House. Was I there? I feel like my school had a trip there, and I don't know if I went or not. Um, I know one of the trips was canceled because of 9/11. So like, yeah, parents wouldn't be letting us go to places when there's crazy stuff going on. I think I might age myself with that one. Um, I honestly can't remember if I've been there on a school trip. I've been in Washington or in Washington D.C. for other stuff, but I don't think it was to ever tour the White House though. I did put in for a detail there though when I was in the military. Like, oh yeah, I'd love to. That'd be an honor, regardless of who was president. It was President Obama at the time, but it's still an honor to go and do that for your country. Um, I don't. I didn't get it obviously, but yeah. John Gaza says, I'm up to 17 Lamborghinis. All I need is to open a Lamborghini dealership. You do. You do. I'm going to take a picture of that. So that's heckin' awesome. Oh, heart. What we got here? Man, I really got to start marketing this Luke more. Amber Hall arrested. Okay, I can't say that. Says, oh, word. Eddie Almeida says, I'm gonna pump the orange for me, bro. Pump it. Thoughts on Veve logo? I mean, I feel like I've given a good amount of those. Amber Hall arrested for something. I feel like I've given a good amount on that. So this this is going to be the most obscure reference that no one will ever remember. I don't know why I remember it. In 1998, when there was like a segment on Sports Center, they were talking about, I think, the Dolphins, the Bills, the Jets, the Patriots. I forget who was left out. I think the Colts were left out, or maybe the Patriots were left out and the Colts, and they were just talking about like it's possible that all four of these teams could wind up going to the playoffs. In that same breath, I'll say like it could be possible that all four of these Veve logos that were presented today could all become future Grail. That it's possible. Is one or two be left out? Maybe, but these are pretty rare. That says that's awesome, Sean. Yeah, Sean getting those 17 Lamborghinis, freaking wild. Think Capcom will release Resident Evil Mega Man, and all right. So yes, I mean the Capcom by itself is just an amazing license, and the fact that we have that and they dropped that X amount ago is insane. It's wild. I was with a buddy last weekend that really loves Monster Hunter, and I was like, "What do you think about the?" And I named the monsters, and he's like, "Oh, bro," blah, 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 and like a 10-minute rant. And I was like, I felt like Seth Rogen when he was in a limo with Kanye West, and Kanye West just rapped his like whole 3-hour album while Seth Rogen just listened. Um, I felt like that because he just and there's a lot of people like him. He's like, oh, this is really good. This is the lightning one. This did this one. They're in the new game, and I was like, it was actually something to watch. It was like, wow, I unlocked this human's like pressed the button and suddenly he just went off. So yes, if they did that with Monster Hunter, which I really like, Monster Hunter 4 is probably my favorite. The little cat I named Erica because it was cute, and I was dating a girl named Erica at that time. Mega Man is probably the most well-known, but Resident Evil is. I mean, Resident Evil you had at like bowling alleys back in the day. Those were so much fun. You had those at movie theaters, right next to like Time Crisis, like Crisis Zone. Oh, those are so good. But yes, I think they will release those NFTs at some point. And he says, Randy, seems more likely the money comes from the reverse repo or from stocks and T-bills for 5% and the Fed printing more and sending y'all into hyperinflation. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Crazy Dan 420 says, in my opinion, the green logo can represent the carbon neutrality and the positive environmental aspects of Veve digital collectibles. I think so as well. Oh, wow. We got some more comments to go. MTV News says, I can see the Veve logo going to 3 to 5K. It brings nostalgia when you see it. Well, the gold and silver Veve logo already at like 4,800, I think. Let's see what it is. I don't want to spread any of the fake news here. Okay, 4144, and then it goes from 4144 to 4,700. So that's a lot. So when you say that, do you mean like the white and blue logo? Let me know. It says, I think the next Capcom will be Street Fighter. Well, I mean, Street Fighter already had its video game launch last week or 2 weeks ago. And do you guys know that the story of how Ken, like in the story, Ken is usually poor. He's poor in this story because he lost all his money on NFTs. That would be so meta if they went and they said, yeah, we're going to release an NFT of Ken, who's poor in the story because he lost all his money on NFTs. Freaking wild. I did not. Okay, I don't know what we were talking about. Is it nostalgia for a 3-year-old company? Oh my heckin' goodness. Okay, fair point. I see what you're saying, Eddie. But also, I mean, it's a 3-year-old company now. Kind of 5, if you really think about it. But it's going to be. Time moves very, very quickly. These next 7 years, 2030, will pass either way. And as it does that, and you take in the fact that, we're kind of struggling the past few years. OMI's been down for a while. Veve NFTs took a major hit. Ask any millionaire what the best times they had were. Is it, in like the good times when they've made it and they now have, millions of dollars and have any girl they want and they can go anywhere in the world? Or was the best times when they had nothing? Their back was against the wall and they're facing bankruptcy and they're grinding like a mofo and maybe they're not sure it's going to work out. I know what my best times were. When I was building 2 businesses and in 2020, pandemic happened, I was at the worst mental health. I mean, I feel like most people don't work out, but the ones that do and you get a decent body, like I looked very good in 2020 and then the gyms closed and I looked god awful. Well, it took a while, but I looked god awful at the end of it. When you have something like that, where I had lost like $100,000 because all of the money that I lent out to business owners, and the government said like, yeah, we're not letting you work. They're like, okay, well, I'm gonna, pay my mortgage. I'm gonna feed my kids, and I was like, okay, well, I can't be mad at that. And I thought about closing up shop, and I just spent so much money in Pokemon cards. Like I just spent like 40,000 in this. Working 2 businesses when I just started a YouTube channel, like it was starting a second business in 2020 was like the worst time to ever do so. But I worked 90 plus hours a week and I, started YouTube and I started like documenting everything. And that was the best time because I don't think anyone else in the world could have done what I'd done at that time. And that was like my best time. Time when I had no air conditioner. I was sleeping on the floor on a mattress. And then I became a millionaire that same year. That was, and The Millionaire again that next year. Those are my best times. So I think in the next few years, when things are really good, there is something nostalgic about like the bad times. Like if you ever watch Watchmen, really good movie made in I think 2009. Jeffrey Dean Morgan plays. Well, this scene's not about him. One of the girls that he was romantically, I don't even know if that's a word I can say, that he was involved with years ago. She's older now. She's like 60 something years old. And she says, the closer you get to death, the more you think about the past. And it's like the past. I don't know if I can find. Let me find that quote because I don't want to butcher it. And I'm too like derp right now to be able to go and listen to it. The mother fudger. Even all right, the past, even the grimy parts. Hopefully that quote comes up now. Yes. Every day the future looks a little darker, but the past, even the grimy parts of it, well, it just keeps on getting brighter all the time. Again, as you get older, again, this lady was 60 something years old at this point. Yeah. And I'll say that one more time because I really love this quote. Every day the future looks a little bit darker, but the past, even the grimy parts of it, well, it just keeps on getting brighter all the time. That is Silk Spectre. I think she was the original Silk Spectre. In a few years, when we're all a little bit older, when we're all super successful at that point, okay, what was going to be our favorite times? It was when we were like all in this together and nobody believed that this was going to happen. That everyone thought that it was like a rug pull, and everyone thought that this was, they were never going to implement anything with OMI, and the Veve app had all these issues and bugs. The few of us that have been in business for some time know that, okay, as long as you have money coming in, the tech will sort itself out eventually. And that's what's happening. Something that Brock McBlockchain had said like a year and a half ago on my stream. I've done 3 podcasts with him. I don't know which one this was, but he says like, oh yeah, talking about IP and talking about drops, Veve has drops laid out for years already. And that was a year and a half ago before we got, a bunch of these licenses. Recur closed down one of their, I think, NFTU things. And people are like, oh, it's just one of their things. That's something that wasn't going to be that big anyway. Okay, when was the last time they did a drop? And the last time they did a drop was in February. That is 4 months ago. So when you have someone like Veve that just drops every single week, multiple times a week, again, on accident today, they netted 26,000 just from the drop, not including the secondary. Secondary went wild. So yeah, the fact that some people say that this will never be successful, like this is laughable. So when you say that nostalgia for a 3-year-old company, oh my freaking god, like how can you be so silly? Listen, I'm already nostalgic for 2021, where hey, weren't those good times when none of us could get a drop? Weren't those good times when the app would just shut down? It's like it's like our basic training sucked. I don't know, that was fun. Deployment when I was in 127-degree weather every single day, when the sandstorm started in April, it sucked. When the world went through Ramadan, and in order to be sensitive to the locals, we're not allowed to drink in front of them. I don't mean just drink beer. It was a dry country. Kuwait was oh my god. Yeah, it's a dry country, but we go in and we're not allowed to drink water because of the local law. Then you're not allowed to drink water from sun up to sundown. And it's like, you guys realize I'm in 120 something degree heat in uniform and long sleeve shirts, long sleeve pants, driving a forklift. I want to heat myself in front of a plane. I want to go back. I want to, like Little Mermaid says, I want to be where the people are. I want to be where it sucks. And maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just business owners that need a purpose. That they like. I was telling a good friend of mine. I tell him all the time, like, hey, when you gonna? Like, he has like 4 different businesses, super successful. Like, when are you gonna slow down? And I know he's not, because there's a certain amount of people in this world that are bred, that are born. All right, so you know how Saiyans in Dragon Ball Z were bred for the sole purpose of fighting. There are some people in this world that's bred for the sole purpose of entrepreneurship. And if you slow down, you die. If you slow down, you're done. The only way to keep being is to keep being happy is to go through it and to build successful businesses. That's Building successful businesses is one of the funnest things I've ever done. And it sucks. I get annoyed. I get tired. My social life takes a hit. The sex life takes a hit. Everything takes a hit. But I would not trade it for the freaking world. It's fun. Being able to do things that nobody else is able to do is amazing. And I get nostalgic for the bad times. Good times are great, but you get a little bit soft. You get a little bit complacent. You're not as discerned as you once were. Every single business owner is gonna they long for those days when it sucked, when they're eating ramen, they're eating tuna, and the nostalgia for 3 years ago, even a couple of years ago. Yes, yes, we do have nostalgia for that, and I know I'm not the only one. Now I've realized I've gone on this monologue for a little too long. I've been talking for an hour 45. Let me go into the rest of the comments here. Street Fighter is totally real neat. It's totally nostalgia. Hey, looking. Crazy Dan 420 says the green logo is also repping the 420. That's a good point. It do be repping that 420 though. Cool Mo says just completed the set, got matching mints for the OG and the blue, also got a blue on the drop, and then got the match. Great heckin' day. Good for you, mate. NFT Me News says Crazy Dan 420. That's why I wanted green, my guy. Hey Randy, how do you see Secret Rare Luke performing in the long term? Oh well, we know one thing. I do know one thing, though. They come, they go. Sorry, I had to blur that out because I didn't want to say bitches. All right, apparently I just said it. I love Eminem. If I do know one thing, I will not make that reference again. It is that scarcity is king on this. Scarcity is king on this website, on this app, and this is just the beginning. You know, why is Miles Morales, 159 secret rares? Why is he $12,000? Why does he sell consistently for over 11,000? It's because he's super scarce. Well, I mean, also, yes, he is going to be in the next 10 years as the next generation grows up, going to be there. He's their Spider-Man. If you're under 20 years old, Miles Morales is your Spider-Man. Like, that's it. I went over in detail within the first 30 minutes of this video, the $120 million opening weekend. When the first movie didn't do so hot, when Miles Morales first came out, but Miles Morales, for all intents and purposes, should not have been created. He was created on a whim when I forget the guy who created it. I forget his name, but he watched an episode of Community, and the episode of Community, you had Donald Glover that had a Spider-Man shirt on, and he interviewed said, "Yeah, I'd love to be a version of Spider-Man," and the backlash, like, "Oh no, Spider-Man's white, Spider-Man's this," and then the creator of Miles Morales says, "Okay, well, I'm going to make a Miles Morales like from the hood. He's going to be a Spider-Man." And people hated it at first, and then they kept going, and then people loved them. And I don't want to take away from the character, but yeah, some people, most people identify Peter Parker just because he is poorer. He never catches a freaking break. The writers never let Peter Parker be happy, and I'm super pissed off about that. He deserves happiness. If anyone deserves happiness, it's Peter. But he's also, white, and I don't care about that. I love Peter Parker. He's my Spider-Man because I grew up with him. I grew up with him in the '90s. I grew up with him, Tobey Maguire. Miles is cool, but Peter's mine because I'm not, under the age of 20. But a lot of these people now, and a lot of minorities, okay, they like Miles because he looks like. I'll tell you a very not safe for work story when we're talking about the Meta Quest Pro 2 or whatever that came out like 2 years ago. As a headset, you can watch some very adult content in AR, VR with that headset. What takes me out of it, because I only watched it once, what takes me out of it is the fact that you have you only have a white avatar. And when you have a white avatar, it's like, hey, that's not mine. The same thing happens. Like, I don't know why does part of the reason why I think Halo is so successful, outside the fact that they're great video games and it's great music and it's great times, in lobbies with your friends, is that you could picture yourself being Master Chief because he doesn't have a face because he's always has a helmet on. You could picture yourself being the Mandalorian because most of the time he never takes his masks off. You could be him. You could be Din Djarin. You could be this mysterious person. For Miles Morales, it's easier to picture yourself being him. And I know you asked about Secret Rare Luke, but this is imperative to my case here. You have that, but again, scarcity. Now for Luke Skywalker, Miles Morales has been popular for like 5 years. I know he was created like 10 years ago, but he's been popular for maybe like 5 years. Maybe I mean the first Enter the Spider-Verse movie made like 35 million. It did not do that well on opening weekend. What really got it going was that during the pandemic, people were like, you know what, it's on Netflix. I'm gonna watch it, and they loved it. But Luke Skywalker has been everyone's bae for 40 plus years. When it come out, 77, 45 years now, 46 years. We're getting into. That is a long time, and he's in every single, like, even though he wasn't in the prequel series, presence was. I mean, technically he was just a baby. He's like, oh, Luke, but you have his master, you have Obi-Wan in there, and then he's even in the Obi-Wan series as a kid, but he's in the Mandalorian as an adult. He's in Book of Boba Fett as an adult. You even see him in the most recent sequels, the most Star Wars trilogy years later. He's been in a lot of boats. Like, yeah, that Secret Rare Luke Skywalker, the $2,000. What is it? 2,200 right now. Let me check this out. Let's go to the tape. Where is the Luke? No more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. 2049. So he is $2,049 right now, which is he has gone down. He was at like 2,500 at one point, but he has gone down. The cheapest sub 100, or the cheapest sub 50 is $10,600. Cheapest sub 100 is $3,200. Oh no, I'm sorry, 3K. And excuse me. I would say in a bull market, he doubles and then doubles again. Yeah, I picture him being like 8K in the bull market. I mean, again, what is that? I mean, right now he's what, 1 ETH? 1 ETH for a one of what? There's 519 of them, which means 429. Yeah, that's going to be crazy low as people get in here. Crazy low, because again, it's 1 ETH. That's nothing. That's nothing. Eddie says, anyone notice Akbar flip rare Luke? Did he really? Yo, that's amazing. What is rare Luke? He's got to be under 90 now, right? And Akbar's got to be. What is Admiral Akbar? Oh my God, it won't say because the thing's not sold out. Hold on. Well, Akbar is 96 doll hairs, and rare Luke has got to be what, 90? 92. Yeah, Admiral Akbar had flipped the rare Luke. The floor, the cheapest sub 100, well, the cheapest sub 50, actually you can get one for 3K. It's not bad. The cheapest sub 100 is actually mine at 547. The next cheapest sub 100 is number 75 for $700. But if you want to buy mine for 547, I will love you a long time, and I will give you the good stuff. That sounded wrong. That sounded dirty. But I mean the dirty things too. If you're a, never mind. I shouldn't say that. I got some other stuff to buy. Anyway, Crazy Dan 420 says I could start a green logo holders club with 420 rewards. Oh, dude, that would be awesome. You know what, man? Do it. Get that logo going. I'm gonna post that on Twitter later. I support you 100% with that. Do what Squid Cat does, where he has them staked. If you have them staked at $88,000, he gives you a little bit of OMI each month. Grab the number 49 orange logo for $220. Only 9 people can have a sub 50 set, and they'll have to have mine. Am I thinking correctly here? I think you are. I think you are. Eddie Almeida says, give one to True Dope. He be tripping on schoolgirls. I don't like the sound of that. Stan says, do you have an estimated timeline when Veve will go ballistic with the release of the logos and the Apple VR rollout? Seems like as an uptick is imminent. I would say timeline when Veve will go ballistic. Say within a year. Well, yeah, I'd say yeah. I mean, it'll go up slowly as the months go on. Because I mean, again, it's exciting because you have they weren't actively talking about the wait list. Like they had mentioned it in passing, but there was no lead up to it. Oh, there's going to be a big announcement. It was just, hey guys, wait list is happening on Sunday. What? Like, thank God I wasn't on vacation and I would have missed it. Not that it matters. I didn't get any on the drop anyway. But it's not like, God, we could have been somewhere. Yeah, and this is one thing. This is why, dude, in Mitch we trust, man. We get a Mitch tattoo if things keep rolling out. I cannot speak highly enough of what he has done for the company. Coding for a week, testing for a week, release stuff. Doing this constant, like he's a very top tier individual. I love him. If he keeps this up, if they keep him, they better be keeping him happy. If he keeps this up, doing what he's doing, we will have so many things rolled out by the end of the year and within 1 year. I would say within a year, within 12 months, we'd be going ballistic. But again, even if we don't, once you get OMI to NFT, oh my God, so many people, myself included, be like boom, 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 boom. You're gonna have so many people using their newfound dollars, their found money, to go and buy some of those NFTs. Putting offers out there. The pops are 5. Oh, okay, okay. Um, okay, all right. Copy, 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 copy. All right. That makes sense. We'll keep looking for you. Yeah. All right. I'll look for him for that, for Jeremy's stuff after the show is over. Where was I? RFK for the win. An Aussie living in the French Alps. Couldn't care less about politics. Just who's holding the bag. Okay. Fair point. Fair point. French Alps. What's that like? That seems fun. George17 says, Honorable approves. No, we are not going there. We are not going there, Jorge. Stan says, if I get the logo releases for today, do I need the logos given on site? Wait, if I get the logos released for today, do I need the logos given on site? Could you rearrange that? Because I'm not sure what I'm not 100% sure what you mean when you says, do I need the logos given on site? Like at an event? Let me know. I'll 100% answer your question. I just don't know what you mean. Says, what are your thoughts on the Revenge of the Jedi poster? First off, love it. Super historic, super, super significant. Let me go and take a look at the Veve. The Veve. That was on the drops not too long ago. It was like a week ago, right? Yeah, May 29th. All right, Revenge of the Jedi. 97 in the market. It's 120 right now. Thoughts on the Revenge of the Jedi? It's very, very, very historic, very, very significant. 120, 777 of them, which actually means 687. I would, I would grab one. 118. Yeah, I think if you buy one right now, I'd be like, oh, cool, good. That should probably go up in the future. Emerald says Resident Evil is my favorite horror franchise. Resident Evil 4 The favorite horror franchise, Resident Evil 4 remake, did really well. I think it's going to win Game of the Year. That's some big talk. Might be right, but that's some big talk. Corey being real with you says, Randy, yo, what up, Corey? How's it going? It's been a while since we talked. How you doing? Mrs. I'm pretty sure your favorite movement was when your OMI was worth a mil. Oh, don't buy nonsense. Well, I mean, that was fun, but the favorite moment, I mean, that was one of my favorite moments in time when I first became a millionaire. Yes, because as a first generation immigrant from Peru, I'm the first one definitely in my Peruvian family to ever do that. And I think the first one in my adopted family to ever do that as well. Um, but that's one moment in time. I'm talking about like a collective of, oh, what was the best time in your life? Like not just one specific moment for one specific day. Although it was nice the day that I became a millionaire in 2022 as well. But I mean, everyone was worth a million. But what I mean by that is that, oh, your time period, like maybe your favorite year, favorite couple months, favorite. Yeah, I know the favorite times is when I was struggling, is when I was building this business, and not Veve. I mean the businesses that I had personally. Um, those those were good. Crazy Number 420 says the like button needs some attention. Yeah, smash it, smash it. Like to pump your bags, kids. Boost the content. Yeah, boost it, boost it. People actually invested in Recur. Yeah, there was a bunch of people. I remember a bunch of people that had called Recur the Veve killer. And if I wanted to, I could have made a video. Thank guys. The video that I would never make, but I could have made, would have been like, guys, nobody ever heard of David Yu or Dan Crothers. Everyone knows who Gary Vee is. Everybody knows the Winklevoss is. Everyone knows, like, already have Hello Kitty, the #2 license in the world. Already have Star Trek. They're already sniping things away from Veve. They have Nickelodeon. Veve couldn't get it. Recur did because of these guys. I could have made the most insanely bullish video if I wanted to, but I didn't. Why? I actually, even at the end of one of my videos, made a Recur hit piece because clearly the people at Recur did not really care about the IP. When they were misspelling characters' names, when they give characters the wrong items, it's like, guys, like, do you even care? Like, do you like? And then you take a look. For anyone that wanted to do some research, there's interviews with David and Dan out there. You can see what type of people they are. You can see what they care about the product. You know, the even though Gary Vee gave a certain amount of money to Recur, he wasn't in it. And I could have told you that a year ago when I was at VCon, and he did not mention Recur once. It's all about VFriends. Red flag number one. Number two, when they didn't spell anyone's name right when they had when they were talking about Hey Arnold and they'd advertised for Hey Arnold. They didn't give people the right items in Hey Arnold. They didn't give people the right items in Rugrats. Like, these were a lot of red flags that I brought up, and I was like, guys, I don't, when Veve did Star Trek drop, there was no backlash. When Recur did a Star Trek drop, there was like, oh, Star Trek are doing NFTs now, and now everything is worse in my life. It's like, what? Veve had a little bit of that when it came to Cookie Monster, but that really was very, very limited. For Star Trek, it was ridiculous. But yes, there were people that had called Recur like the Veve killer, and I was like, guys, this is a little ridiculous, and it's I like I said, I was bullish on Hero, still bullish on Hero. Have some stuff over here, but this goes to show you that you could have everything right. You could have the backing. You could have somebody give you $50 million last year to do so, and again, if you just don't have the drops, if you don't have the community, it's not going to get anywhere. Why do I really like GrumpyCat and 4chan? Because their communities are baller. The communities are epic. Are they Veve and OMI? No, but they're still fun. And I think they, go to the moon pretty soon. But that's why 90% of my net worth is in the Akomi ecosystem. But yes, people did go invest in Recur, and I hope they got some of their money back. But we'll see. Sean Guys says, I was actually referring to Pokemon Go. Oh, LOL. July is a big month for Pokemon Go. It's called Go Fest. It's a huge event every year. Yeah, yeah. Love Pokemon Go. I mean, I love Pokemon in general. There's actually someone in the community that's a level 40 in Pokemon Go, and I was like, oh my god, I thought 30 was dope, which it is. Not taken away from that, but level 40 is like, whoo, yeah, it's a lot. Love Pokemon. Anyway, it says, I'm also a business owner, Randy. Maybe it's fun, but even the team doesn't want the drops to pump 3 to 4x. Uh, I mean, they enjoy the fees that they get, so it's not like they want things to pump 3 to 4. I mean, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Their goal isn't to sell out. Their goal is to just have a good product, show people that they have these amazing licenses, and they want people to collect. And if the people collect, great. If they don't collect, why not? Everything is a learning thing. But yeah, I don't think they necessarily want their stuff to pump 3 to 4x. Sometimes it just happens. Sometimes it doesn't. Doge Nation says, "Who farted?" Yo, what up, Doge Nation? I love you coming in, asking that question every day. You the man. I took a pretty love you guys. There is maybe unpopular opinion, but I think Luke is ugly, and that will hurt his value long term. Yeah, Luke don't look like Luke that much. But in the long term, no one will care. It's first appearance Luke. Like, do you think some of these action figures look like him, especially the first ones? No, not at all. But it's the first licensed one that you'll ever get on the blockchain. So yeah. Short said, yeah, I'm still playing Pokemon Go. I still try to walk 10 miles a day. My goodness. I've been doing it every day for over 3 years now. You've got to be in amazing shape. Good for you, mate. We got Judah Lyons. Hey, Randy, can't wait till Tuesday. 4chan, thanks for your support. 4chan giveaway. 4chan giveaway. Let's go. I'm trying to get huge for my next acting role, which was supposed to be later this year. I think it might get moved back till early next year because of the writer's strike. So I was like, no. Whatever. Ron Skywalker says, dude, I'm all in the 420 club. Like, light it, don't hide it. Oh, what? There was a video that I watched from not the Vlog Brothers, the Fine Bros, where they go and they have elders react. And there's one elder, the senior citizen is reacting to like an Elvis video, and Elvis is doing the shakes with his legs, and the guy's like, oh, shake it, don't break it. I was like, oh, he's getting into it. So he's saying, light it, don't hide it. I don't know, it just reminded me of that. Yeah, I'd totally be into that club. I'm in. Aldarian says, OMI to NFT means that we can sell our NFTs in exchange for OMI instead of gems. Yes. It means that you could put your listing up for anything. It could be gems, it could be OMI, and people can pay in OMI, and you can receive OMI. So yes. Silver gold. To the moon. This is Randy. Are you farming crypto airdrops? I got ZK Sync Layer 0 and another lined up for snapshots already. French Alps is sick, far better than Sydney or London. Nobody likes London. Oh, I'm not. I'll take that back. I got a friend, JD, that lives in London, and those are nice. Those are good times. Outside of that, London is good for beer. Got a couple of good bars. The food in London is atrocious for a country that had control of most of the world for part, in part of history. They have like the worst food. Like they don't like it is. It baffles me that they had so much access to the world with trading, and their food is still ass. Good drinks though. Better than Sydney, French Alps. Yeah, I haven't been to the French Alps. But I'm not really doing. I don't really do crypto airdrop. A lot of times I don't really have time for them. A lot of times I'm just busy. But crypto airdrops got Zinc, Layer 0, and another. I've heard some people having a lot of success with that. I'm just not one of them. I'm in the projects that I think are really fun. I'm in the ones, again, the only other project outside of Veve and OMI, I guess Earth 2 counts with Essence, because Earth 2 has, God, they have the prettiest metaverse. It looks so good. And then you also have, switch hats here and go, oh yeah, back to that white one. Oh, look at that. Sorry. And their Essence has yet to launch. And I have 40,000 of their Essence, and I'm waiting for it to get launched. I don't think we'll actually launch until sometime next year, though. We were supposed to have it last year, but again, bear market. Veve hasn't gone on, Earth 2 hasn't gone on. We'll get it next year for Earth 2 at some point. French Alps is sick, but yeah, it'll be great. Erasmus says, my best time is when I worked on the beach and lived on the beach. Didn't make much money, but it was the best time for a couple of years. There was this guy that me and Brittany had ran into on when we went on a cruise last year, and it was the dude. I owe him 100,000 OMI, you know, because he gave me $100, and I was like, okay, KYC, get into your Veve app, and then message me. And I have him on Facebook, like we're friends on Facebook, and he like has refused to go and like message me because I need his OMI code and I need to send him some. But he just does not have one. He refuses to go and get one. So anyway, yeah, this random dude in Curacao, whatever island we were at, that 100,000 OMI to. Anyway, beach, and he worked and lived on the beach as well. Hollywood Beach rules. O'Doyle rules. Trump Tower says, what about Revenge of the Nerds poster? Dude, so, listen, when I watched Revenge of the Nerds when I was younger, it was a great movie. That was a great movie. Movies, I should say. And I watched one of them recently, and the one that I watched, it was this girl is with this guy at like a carnival, and this guy is in a Darth Vader outfit. And this one nerd overhears them talking. She's like, I'm going to be over in this bouncy house or whatever if you want to go boink. And then the nerd overhears this, and he goes and dresses up in Darth Vader. And he gets with this girl, and she thinks that he's her boyfriend, and he's not. And it's like, oh my God, that is like creep factor times 11. And I just don't, I feel like if people saw that nowadays, they would like cancel it. Like Jesus Christ, that I even looked at that, I was like, oh my God. And I'm not like, woke at all, but like that, like Jesus. That being said, I remember those great movies, very fun times, Revenge of the Nerds, a lot of interesting stuff in that. I would like some posters. No, so Recur did not rug pull. A rug pull is when you have people going and saying, hey, buy this token, whatever, and then they dump everything, and then there's no project. Recur has tried everything, and they're still operating. I do think they're moving more to an advisory role, but they are still operating. They have only shut down the NFTU portion, and those NFTs are still available on, I think, portal.recur.me or something like that. It's just there's not a lot of demand for their stuff, and the demand for the stuff that they have is, it's not a lot, and they just don't do drops. There's no money coming in, so it's hard to operate when there's no money coming in, and yeah, but I would not say it was rug pull. No. John Skywalker says, bought Resident Evil on PS1 back in the day on accident. Best video game mistake ever. Dude, buying video games back in the day was such a gamble. Let's say you're at Toys R Us and you want a Game Boy game. There's no like reviews online in like 1999. There's no YouTube. YouTube wasn't a thing yet. I don't even know if Google was a thing yet. And you're just like, what is that? Like, what is Marvel Madness? What is this video game? And you play it, and some video games were good, and some video games were not so good, but you bought it, and you know what? Heck, if you're not going to play it because you just got birthday money, so you bought a Game Boy Color game for $35, and by God, you're going to play it because that's all you had. Yeah, so back in the day, it's like, there's no TikTok. It's like all right, you got a game, you're going to get good at this game. So yeah, it was wild. Video games back in the day, buying those were insane. The digital says landed blue and white, number 52 on drop. How about the number 666 rare, on the secret rare, red, white on the drop. Oh my God, on the drops, dude, the luck that you have. The Disney movie, The Luck of the Irish, the invisible digital. Jesus, man. Amazing. I'm not going to say what I'm going to say for the luck, but man, The Real Deal, oh, love that name, says, I could have sworn they talked about updating ugly characters, or is that wrong? No, they can. They can do that. When I was at VCon last year, there was a guy that I ran into that had like 120 something Electras. And I was like, why do you have that many Electras? He's like, Randy, they're either going to fix her or they're not. And I was like, oh yeah, I guess they'll probably fix her at some point. Yeah. So if they're going to fix Elektra, which I believe they will be at some point, they're probably going to fix Luke Skywalker. I think, but not financial advice. Congratulations, VV team, for a successful drop day. It is a hugely successful drop day, and I am super excited for them. Zerby says, I landed secret rare number 125. Fudge. Oh, you guys are getting jelly. Crypto NFW says, are the VV logos going to be for future whitelists? Probably not. They might do it like, oh, on this drop, anyone who holds a white VV logo will get, maybe they do that. But to do it for each one, if they didn't do it for the gold and silver VV logo, they're probably not going to do it for these. But, who knows? Anything can happen. It's their own IP. They can do whatever they want with it. Sean says, I've seen the new Spider-Man twice already, but I'm still a Peter Parker fan, to be honest. Yeah, of course. Everyone loves Peter Parker. But I'm glad he's. Oh, I can't wait. I heard it's one of the best comic book movies ever. Mr. 100 says, Randy, you don't like English deep fat fried pizza? I don't know if I've ever had it. I mean, it sounds. I'd eat it. I mean, it sounds good. I gotta try it though. I'll let you know next time I'm about to go to London. Extra says, Randy, you are unofficially my. Apparently, unofficially for a lot of people, and officially for a lot of people as well. Black Magic saying, bruh, E2 interface has become so confusing to me now. Civilians, side droids, rating. Pacey does a good job at trying to explain a lot of these. I try to explain a lot of these when I can. We need a new video from Arya Realty as well, explaining these. But yeah, it's a lot of stuff being happening. Guys, I have to pee, and I've caught up with all the comments, so I'm gonna bounce. But everyone, please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Everyone, smash that like button and all that jazz. All right, I love you guys. Goodbye. You gotta go.